you should normally not get them past the 0 mark.
Except
One, two.
okay. Hello, test. Okay. I can wait a couple minutes. If you're ready, I'll do it. If you want to wait till on the hour.
No, I'm ready, but maybe some people are still coming.
Yeah, they're still coming. Do you need some water?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Forgive me, can you tell me briefly what is ZeuS?
ZeuS, it's a banking Trojan. It's a banking Trojan which also forms a botnet at the end.
Very good. Okay. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for coming to this talk. This talk will be about one of the more infamous banking Trojans distributed by botnets called ZeuS. And the title of the talk is the ZeuS Evolution. It is by Clemens Kurtenbach. And Clemens is from here in Germany, Stuttgart. And he's giving a talk for the work he's done with the Spanish company S21sec. So please welcome Clemens Kurtenbach.
Okay, so sound works. Welcome everybody. My talk from today is about the ZeuS evolution. Maybe who already heard about ZeuS before looking at the program of this conference? So who already knows more or less about what it is? Okay, a few of it. Okay, let's see if this gadget works. Fine. Okay, so first we'll have a fast introduction, and then we will see a rough overview about how it works. So the business model of the system. Then it's about ZeuS, about the topic from the speak, which is a banking Trojan. About the guy who began to make this banking Trojan, about the features, a bit about the development, recent changes, and about the new business model this Trojan band Trojan counts to. What's up now? Oof, I'm sorry. Okay, so what's this talk about? Basically, it's about the bad guys making money using the internet as a new platform. They use the internet to steal credential data from infected user. This data counts, for example, internet bank account data or credit card data. They steal it and finally make money out of it. So if you see this, how much money do they make? It's a lot of money. If you compare it to Walmart or to Microsoft, it fits in between, and it's on the third place of the Fortune 500 list. So it's the list of companies, how much exchange they make each year, and it's quite high. You see, it's between Walmart and Microsoft. Some people say it's already more money made with cybercrime than with drug trading, and Symantec estimates it to about 276 million each year. Dollars, which is made with cybercrime. So how does it work? You can break it down to three simple steps. The first is the infection. So you have to infect the client somehow. Then you have to receive the data somehow, which you steal from the infected computers, which is the harvesting, and later you have to make money out of this, what you got. So how to infect people? So, this is one study. Sadly, it seems to be still quite easy. I think there's still a lot of education to be done for end users. I think they are not skeptical enough. Until now, they use it, but they don't really know what can happen. Here, for example, it's a funny example where some students tested their student college. They made a pop-up window in a browser window, and the colleagues just clicked the window, whatever it was, to put it away and to be able to work on again. So, and if you see already all the students which you think they think about what they do, also they were quite affected in this test. Also, it's very famous for ZeuS is drive-by infection. So you have infected internet sites, and if you have a vulnerable system, you didn't install your patches from Microsoft or from your browser, you get infected just by driving to internet sites. And the second main way you can be infected with ZeuS is also spam. So you get the usual spam, which tells you, oh, you need to see this video from your, and you need to install a codec to see this video. And finally, it's not the codec you install, but a banking Trojan. So spam and drive-by infection. Also, you could get messages over Facebook and phishing, but the main infection ways for ZeuS are surely spam and drive-by infections. So the first part is done. You have infected the computers of the clients. Then you have to collect all this data. For this, you have a central command and control server where all the clients connect to and send their data. And basically, in this state, you only have to wait because the computers are already infected, and you just have to wait until they send the data to you. And at the end, all data is valuable. So in the case of ZeuS, it's a banking Trojan, but basically it collects all information you put into your browser, so also email addresses and things like this, which you can make money out of. And later, if you have collected the data, you have to make really the money out of it. So for this, there are special forums where this data, this collected data, this stolen, is traded. And you can see you have for different kind of values, you have, or types of data, you have different kind of values. It's depending also on how much you buy or how valuable is this data. This is one way to make the money out of it, or you use some money mules. Money mule is somebody who doesn't know what he does. Basically, you also receive mails maybe for you work from internet only 1 hour each day and you get 1,000 euro out of it. So this is also basically, they are money mules. You have to open a bank account on your name, and finally you make wire transfers to the cyber criminals. And what the police basically can trace back, if they find this was an illegal transaction, what they trace back is you, the money mule. No? So this is also a way for the cyber criminals not to get caught, but to make money out of this data they collected before. Competitors of the ZeuS Trojan are Sinoval, which is more, it's more huge. It has rootkit functionality and other things. There's also BankPatch and Limbo, which are like the competitors of ZeuS. So what is ZeuS, or ZBot, or WSNPOEM all called? Finally, it's a botnet kit. You buy something and you get everything to build up your own botnet. It comes with a binary generator, so you have to configure the bots. Now you have to configure into them the command and control server where the data is sent to. Also, it has the possibility to update the config. Also, this gets configured, and everything is built into a binary, which is finally the file which infects the clients. It comes with a drop zone. The drop zone is basically the drop zone, and the control panel is one thing. It's a PHP interface with a MySQL database as backend, and it combines the drop zone, so the place where the stolen data is sent, and the infrastructure to access the clients. But let's begin from the beginning. So the origins of ZeuS, it's a hacker or a coder called A2Z, which began to code this banking Trojan, and his initial the initial idea of him was he wanted to sell his old Lada, his old car, and wanted to buy a Mercedes-Benz SLR sports coupe out of it. So what's about this guy? The guy is under the synonym A2Z. It's believed to be a Russian guy. It's a really high-skilled coder because it takes a lot to make something like this, the ZeuS Trojan. In the beginning, he made it, it was one guy who made it, and he's only a coder, so he doesn't do anything with stealing the data from the clients. Even when he sells you his product, he tells you, I suppose you don't do any bad stuff with it, which is kind of funny because it's only made to steal data. No? And he's only a coder, and as he's assumed to live in Russia, he can live large. It seems like that the police, that only coders are a low priority for Russian police. So it seems like he can live large. And his most famous creation is ZeuS, about what we are talking today. So, like I already said, he presumes his clients to use his product only for legal interviews. He's well-spoken and business-savvy, so he always tries to make a good image and is discreet, and is a professional guy, a really professional guy. He knows what he does. So about the builder. The builder is a program, like I said before, where you configure basic things into the bot. So the bot which gets installed in the computers. Here you can see it. What it needs is a config file, and you click build it, and you have your binary. The builder is also, it has some random packing inside, and it's quite small. It's about 70 or 80 kilobytes. So it's finally a small thing which only is made for changing some small things into the bot and generate it finally. So the features of ZeuS, it grabs all form data. So everything you put in your browser, it may collect, and it does it, in fact. It has key logger functionality. It is is able to inject code into your internet pages you see in your browser, and only needs a config for special sites. So if it needs to grab only foreign data, you don't need a special config. The special config is only for special sites which are more difficult for the Trojan to access to the data, but we will look later when we come to the config. You can also use it as a SOX proxy, so if the cyber criminal has built up his botnet and has a lot of infected computers, he can actually use these infected computers as a SOX proxy. So to hide his actions and to make it impossible to track him, or to make it not impossible but more difficult, he can use with ZeuS the infected clients as a SOX proxy. It's capable of doing screenshots of the virtual keyboards, and it's also able to update the binary and the config of the bot. From the manual, there's also a manual which comes with the ZeuS pack. Also it says it's programmed. It's not like the typical BHO Trojan where you operate basically on browser level. So you use the COM model to write a BHO and steal data with this. No, he really used only the Windows API to make all the functionality it has. This is also from the manual. The main programming goals are stability, size, and speed. And really, the real bot is about 60 kilobyte, and he really does what he says here. So it's really a stable thing what he does. So 2009 was a very active year. He made a lot of changes in the infrastructure, some changes in the bot, but mainly also in the command and control server. And one of the main improvements, you can say, this year was to introduce RC4, the standard encryption, which is used in the config and when the client sends the stolen data to the command and control server, this is encrypted. So everywhere you have communication from the bot, it's encrypted with RC4. And this year, also he rewrote the control panel. We will see later this control panel, how it looks like. Okay, so the client, the bot, like I said, is a SOX proxy. So the thing, if you want to use infected client as a SOX proxy, it's clear the infected client has to have an official IP address. IP address needs to be accessible from the internet. For this, because today you are behind a router or something like this, which makes NAT, which makes this more difficult, and you can use this feature. He introduced the backconnect functionality also this year. The backconnect is basically, here you have the bad guy. Usually if you use let's see if the laser pointer works. No. Okay, so if you have the usual infected clients and you want to use them as a SOX proxy on the left side, you need the infected clients needs to be directly accessible. So as this often is not the case, okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we are on this side. Because you not always can connect the infected clients directly because they don't have an official IP address, he introduced something called backconnect. So basically it's like this. Anyway, the Trojan always connects back to the command and control infrastructure. So it always connects back to send stolen data, to make the hello ping and for things like this. And it also the command and control server has the possibility, we will see it later, to execute scripts or to execute functionality in the clients. And the backconnect functionality works like this, that basically you give from the control panel, you initiate that the infected client connects back to you. So the connection is established from the inside, from a company or something like this, to the bad guy or to the cyber criminal. And this initiated connection, which comes from inside, is later used for the SOX proxy functionality. So this is a way to even use more people, even if they are behind the firewall or if they are behind NAT. To-do list. The Trojan has also a to-do list, which also shows how serious this is. No, it's the compatibility with Windows Vista or Windows 7 is already made, partless. Already some Vista the Vista operating system is already compromised by the Trojan, and you can use it. Improved API hooking. Important for me is also that it uses the IP version 6 functionality. It's in the to-do list, which is quite crazy because for me, I didn't hear of any other banking malware which is IPv6 capital. And really, parts of it, he does it like this. So, for example, for this backconnect functionality, you have to start the server on your side and wait for the client connects back to you. And this server, which you install on your local client, is already IP version 6 capable. So as I said, it's the first banking Trojan or the first malware product I know which has already working implemented IP version 6 code. Okay, a bit of the timeline. The first time seen, the ZeuS banking Trojan was about in 2005. There it was a simple bot. And year by year, it got more famous, was sold quite expensive at the beginning, and got some changes. Also, then the guy A2Z, which initially began to code this Trojan, there are some rumors that he began to make things with a German cyber gang. So there's a constant development of it, and recently also some changes are made to it. So people, they take this botnet kit, change it, and also resell it. Okay, about the binary, a little bit about what happens on the client side. So in the moment when you get infected, the Trojan checks through a mutex if it's already running. If it's not running, it drops a copy with a random padding. This dropping with a random padding, it adds some random padding at the end of the binary to avoid signature-based detection. So basically, you have the bot you install, and when it's installed, any of these installations has a different checksum. No? It generates its local files and changes the file date to the installation date of the system files and hides the files, but usually it has no rootkit functionality, or it doesn't make a lot to really hide its actions. It modifies the registry, and everything is made on ring 3, so you don't need ring 0 access to the operating system, which is also a good feature. I mean, if you see it from the viewpoint from the cyber crimes. Okay, the internals, basically, at the end, you end up with a system where the Trojan there's no process really running from the Trojan, from the ZeuS Trojan, but only you have injected processes. So if you, for example, if you reboot and the Trojan gets executed, the first it does, it injects itself, it injects a thread into winlogon exe, where a pipe server is started. The pipe server is used for internal communication of the bot. Also because you have it injects to different processes, and also for this inter-process communication, it uses this pipe server. Then it injects into SU host. This is the most busy process you can say, because this process, or this injected thread in this process, is responsible for sending data to the control server, or handling local files to store the data which you collected from the browser and things like this. And lastly, the last process, the SU host, injects into all other processes. So you have an injected Internet Explorer, you have an injected Firefox. It injects into all processes in order to be able to hook the functions. Functions like HTTP send, so functions which are known to be used for browser data, this will be hooked. Yeah. The internals, the CNC communication, to which basically counts to send the stolen data, to send also stats, and to receive updates, or to updates like the update of the configuration file of the Trojan, or the update of the bot itself. You can update. And it uses different or random changing source ports for the communication, and the communication is always initiated from the bot. So this is also for bypassing firewalls and things like this. as I already said, the pipe server is used for internal thread communication. It's also responsible for file locking. As I said, there's no real rootkit functionality, but the Trojan tries to make the access to its files it uses impossible, and this makes it with usual file locking. So the version history from the beginning, on the left side, you can see the different names of the bot, how it's installed in the system. So there's also the different names and also the files in the config and log file. You can see also changes are here made. So also what you can see, there's a real timeline of the Trojan. As I said, because it gets constantly developed and updated. As you can see, now we are more or less about the version 1.3.xx. About the version format, it's the first letter means, or character means a complete change in your bot, and so step by step it's the version format it uses. So the configuration file, this is an essential thing. Basically, the configuration file has three important possibilities to configure, which are the last three ones. First, you can put a binary where the bot gets update its binary, and you can make an update of the bot itself. No? You can change the URL of the command and control server, and you can update the config. This is, for example, I mean, the command and control server is one server which you have to host somewhere, and as people find out where this is, it gets this server gets taken offline. No? And in the best case, it's not so easy always to take these servers offline. But when it's offline, you can use these first 3 points of the configuration to redirect all the infected bots to another point where you have your installed new server. No? So you can change the whole setup to another computer. And now the three main configuration options, as I said, basically it captures all data. But for banking sites, it needs some special configuration. This configuration, for example, includes the web filters. As you can see in the configuration, some URLs or some strings are put with an exclamation mark, which basically means you skip this data. Everything, each URL which fits to one of these strings gets skipped to avoid to skip data you don't need to or you don't want to. URLs with an @ at the beginning, this is a special case. The Trojan is possible of making screenshots of the virtual keyboards. Some banks have introduced virtual keyboards to avoid capturing the login data, but also the ZeuS Trojan is capable of capturing, and you can configure these URLs with an @ at the beginning from the configuration file. Here are actually some screenshots made by the Trojan, how it captures it. So you can see every time you click on one of the digits or of the characters in your virtual keyboard, the Trojan makes a screenshot of it and has at the end a folder with 6 screenshots, for example. And like this, it's capable of capturing also data from these virtual keyboards. And even like this, in Spain, it's like this. Now they begin to move these keyboards because to make it even more possible, but as you can see also, the trick that you make the screenshot just after you really made it. So actually the screenshot is taken after you made your click, but as you can see also this works because it's on Windows level. For example, the banking Trojans which operate on the browser level, so the COM object or BHO Trojans, are not able to capture this data. But ZeuS it is. The web fakes is a complete phishing site, you can say. So if you put in a specific URL in your browser, you completely get redirected to another page. This page usually looks like this, where you are asked to put all your data. For example, some banks give you a card where you have lots of numbers, and each time you want to make a transfer, they ask you for some of these digits. And as you can see, the people or the cyber criminals make sites or phishing sites where you have to put all your data they are able to access your bank account. And the third point is the web injects. So here you don't replace a whole complete page, but you inject code into the browser. And the result you can see here, for example, on the left side, it is like it usually should look. And on the right side, you can see the injected fields, which ask you for more information, which is later used to access your bank account. So the control server. This is a screenshot made of the control server. As you can see, it's as I already told before, it's a PHP interface with a MySQL backend. And basically, you have 3 different types of things you can do there. You can have the botnet options where you can change or where you can access some stats of your infected clients because maybe you have created a huge botnet and you can see some stats of them, which operating system is the most used. You can search the logs, so everything is stored. The capture data you send to the command and control server is captured, or is possible to store it into the database or into the log files, which you can search from the interface. And you can change some system profiles, like changing the image quality of the screenshot it makes and things like this. The installation is quite easy. You just need to set up the database, and finally the installation is made through the PHP interface. Also, as I said, you are capable of executing botnet scripts on the client side. So like I before talked about the back connect feature, which is basically a script which gets started. You also have other functionality you can do with the infected clients. Now, for example, you have the ZeuS switch, which is quite interesting because with this switch you can finally destroy the operating system of the infected clients, which is kind of strange. I mean, if you make your own botnet, why do you want to destroy it? But also, it's to gain time at the end. You have collected all the data, and if you kill the operating system, the people need to reinstall it and need to set up their bank account. And when they do it and realize that the transfer is made, it's maybe already too late. So it's to gain time. A second point, which is in the red, which is marked red, you see what I talked before about the back connect functionality. And important is also you can execute additional binaries. So you can make the bots to serve to an URL, download the binary from there and execute it. So basically this is a banking Trojan, but with this functionality you can download and execute additional binaries, which may be a spam bot or things like this. So with this it's quite, you can add new features which don't count the ZeuS, but you are capable of also installing new files on the infected clients. And some other stuff, which I will skip now. So the ZeuS, what does it do? It completely deletes registry branches, zeroes all memory up to 4 gigabyte, and the result is a blue screen of death. At the end, you are not able to reboot your system, clearly, because the main important files are missing. And the guy from the ZeuS tracker, I don't know if you know it, the ZeuS tracker is a Google Maps page where you can see the command and control service of the ZeuS strands. And he already had access to a database, such a database of stolen data, where he saw that one cyber criminal really executed this ZeuS command, which I didn't see on an active installation until now. So it gets really used also by the cyber criminals, this feature. So as I said before, also as it's a kit which is sold, it comes with a PHP interface, and you have all the binary, the PHP files. You can also change this command and control infrastructure. And people also do this, they change this and add new skins, for example, or do other stuff and resell it. I mean, it's not the primary intent of the guy, of the creator of A to Z, of the ZeuS Trojan, that people take it and actually make money without of it. Because of this, it's quite funny. Last year, he introduced an end-user license agreement, which is quite funny, because maybe you don't have that environment of trusted people you work with, no? But this end-user license agreement, for example, stated that people are not allowed to change it and to resell it, and in case the guy sees that people do it, he will send the files to the antivirus manufacturers and things like this. a quite funny note. And also what he states in his end-user license agreement that, for example, you buy his product now, and if you find bugs or something is not working on his product, he assures you he's going to fix it. So you have to contact him, he's going to fix it. And also for if you need special features, you have to pay for it and things like this. But he skipped this already because he maybe saw it's not really working like he thought. Okay, the command and control infrastructure also had some vulnerabilities. Here you have a screenshot of a more old version of the first of the versions from the command and control infrastructure. As you can see here, this is the installing page, and as you can see here the password and the user for accessing the MySQL database. And as it is like always, people are lazy. The same password is mostly used to the command and control server of the botnet. So mostly 90% of the cases you also can access the botnet with this case. But as this is old version, this doesn't work anymore. There were also problems that it was basically a SQL injection which you could do. You could inject a PHP shell or something like this you want, because there was a parameter, the RIP parameter, which was not interpreted rightly. So you could inject a PHP shell into it. And also another one was you could directly inject additional or new users into the control panel interface, which is quite sensitive. I mean, there's a lot of money basically there. So it's quite sensible if people can use SQL injection to take over your botnet. No? Okay, some statistics about the ZeuS Trojan. There are more or less about 8 to 10 servers which appear every day. So every day there are many people who buy this botnet kit, install it, and there are different kind of people. No, it's not only all over the line. There are Chinese people who buy this. So all around the world, as we see it in our labs, you have from 8 to 10 new servers which appear each day. The country where the server is located is mostly in Russia, but also in the US or China. This is surely also because of the law policy which are in these countries, that you don't get traced, and you have more possibilities in this country to operate such a system because of the law or because of the holes in the law. So Russia, US, and China are the three main countries we see where the command and control servers are installed. The affected top-level domains, so from which top-level domains is the most captures data. There's the COM top-level domain, and basically this is the main one, no? And which it's followed by Spain. I'm coming from Spain, from the Spanish company, and because of also of this, we have a lot to do with it, with the ZeuS Trojan. Okay, skipped entities, like I said before, you can configure in the configuration file to skip stuff you don't want, and one of the main in the list is MySpace. So basically, social contact sites and things like this, they are not interested in. Basically, everything which you cannot sell, they just skip. The top 10 of the affected URLs of the screenshot which is made is the eGold site, and as you can see, a lot of Spanish sites. This is surely also because in Spain the banks still use a lot these virtual keyboards. For example, in Germany, you have a electrical pin generator which sends back a pin to your mobile, and this number you have to put in. So it's a different system. But in Spain, they still use these virtual keyboards, and as a result of this, you have a lot of affected entities there. The injects, we saw before, the Trojan also injects into different sites. The most frequent one we see is PayPal, and the rest are diffused over the countries and over the top-level domains. The OS list, as I said before, on the to-do list of the Trojan is the Vista, the Windows Vista operating system, which is already working. So mostly we see Windows XP as most affected operating system, but already Windows Vista is appearing. They appear, these installations. The install lifetime of these command and control servers is really various. This also varies on the admin skills. So as I said before, it's not really difficult to set up everything. And because of this, also people who maybe don't know much about the technical stuff, take a look at this and maybe install it and create their own botnet. And so you have sometimes big security holes also in these servers. So also it depends on this. As I said before, it also depends on the geographical place where these installations are made. So if you're in Russia, it's different than if you have this server in Germany, for example. On the ISP, also you have famous ISP or autonomous systems, which are ISPs. They are known to be bulletproof. Bulletproof means that you can send abuse requests to them, but they just don't react. I mean, they have a paying customer, and they just want to make their money, and they don't care about abuse requests. Sometimes even hacked web servers are used, so the cyber criminals hack another server and set up there the control panel. And more or less the installation date of the ZeuS Trojan is between 3 and 30 days. Where you can also say the first days of such an installation are the most valuable, because in the first days you have maybe you send spam, or you have an internet site which is infected. The first day a lot of people get infected, they are still not removed by the antivirus, and they begin to send the data. And in the first days you have also the most valuable data, because I mean, you have, on the first day you receive a lot of data, and on the second day maybe they are still clients, they send data, but it's the same they sent before. So you have a exponential decreasing curve of the valuable of the data from such installations. New models of service. Okay, until now we were talking about the cyber criminals setting up everything and taking care of everything. You don't need to do this anymore today. Today everything you can rent. So there are sites in the internet from people where they offer to make everything. They install your infrastructure, they infect the clients, there are all different levels of business models you can imagine. So this is a site, for example, they install your ZeuS Trojan, they take care of that it runs, they take care of clients get infected, and finally what you get is the stolen data, which you have to make money out of it. Here you can rent the whole setup, for example, for €50 for 3 months. So somebody's setting up everything, collecting everything, and after 3 months or during the time you always get the data, and it's a time-based business model, as you can say. Also, people offer to configure the injects. As you saw before, the injection of additional code is very specific. So each banking site you want to get data from, you have to configure it special. So people also offer this. Also, for the first part, for the infection part, so ZeuS is the botnet kit, you can say, but it doesn't provide possibility to infect the clients. This you have to do another way. So people took the ZeuS Trojan and took the El Fiesta, which is basically an exploit pack. So it's a pack of exploit, you install it, and when a computer user surfs to this site and he has not updated recent updates of the browser, of the operating system installed, he gets infected. And you have a whole bunch of exploits which step by step they try to affect you and try to succeed. No? This is quite funny. This I saw last week, I think. It's also one site offering services like this. And as you can see, the login page looks like this, the typical cyber criminal, which makes the money and is lying on the beach in Hawaii. I don't know. Funny here you have a technical support. You can call even if you take their businesses. So as you can see, it really gets serious. The new models of business get really serious, and people begin to offer all kinds of services you can imagine around this setup. So there's no entry barrier now. You don't have to be a freak which knows about all the stuff he does. No, you just have to have some money which you invest, and you can get into the cybercrime business if you have the criminal energy of it. When open source, which means that the kit itself is modified and resold. So this is the success of ZeuS because it's very configurable and very you can adapt it to very different situations. There are also some ZeuS wars because many people begin to use this. There are also people, like I said before, there were SQL injections, so people said, oh, somebody hijacked my botnet of 100,000 infected bots. Or also people, for example, modify the ZeuS, install backdoors in it, and publish it in forums. So what we see here, the ZeuS, older versions or exploit kits, you finally find in forums, but they don't work anymore because they are old, they have old exploits, or they are exploited themselves. So basically they are useless, although you find them in forums. As you can see here, it's backdoored and installed. So this is the success of the ZeuS Trojan. It's very customizable, as you saw with the configuration file. You can switch it to another control server and everything. It's noob-friendly, it's quite easy to install everything, and it fits absolutely to the recent market of the business model that a service, malware as service, it absolutely fits to this. Okay, this is it for my presentation. I hope you enjoy it, and do you have any questions? I don't see good. Yeah, on this row.
What does this software cost?
Okay, if you know the right guys, recent versions, it's about 600 euro. Between 600 and 800 euro, you can get a private version of it, more or less like this, in private forums. They are not the public forums. They are user-based forums where you only have access if you are a trusted user. So you don't get these versions quite easily, but about 600 to 800 euro. It's traded in the market. There another one? I don't see it. Yeah.
How can you detect that you have in your computer the software?
Sorry, I didn't.
How can you detect that you have infected?
How you can detect? Yeah. There are different tools for it. So if you have a recent antivirus, for the first time at the beginning it's clever because as I said before, if you have signature-based checks, it's very difficult because the bot adds a random padding at the end. So all signature-based antivirus solutions really don't work. You need something which looks what the ZeuS Trojan does, and so well, it needs to know how it works and look for the system changes. And there are different projects. I'm not going to make advertisement now, but there are products which detect this. It's no problem. Yeah, here somebody.
What does command and control traffic look like on the network from an infected client back to the server? Is it all RC4 encrypted?
Sorry, maybe better with the microphone. I didn't hear.
What does the command and control traffic look like from an infected client back to the server?
Sorry, still, I didn't.
I'm sorry. Once a client becomes infected, it's going to phone home to the server, to the ZeuS server. And if you were to observe that on the network, what does it look like? Is it fully, HTTP compliant? Is it RC4?
No, it's HTTP. The communication from the, as I understand, good. You asked how is the communication effect from the client to the server?
Correct.
It's HTTP, but it's PHP. It's raw. It's raw PHP data. You don't have some variables which A equals to blah blah blah. No, it's a raw PHP stream which is encrypted, which is compromised, and also made some special stuff. So you have only transferred binary, where you need to know the 256 byte RC4 key. Then you have to unpack the data. Then you have to make some special things, and you end up with an array of data where the data is stored and finally set up into the MySQL database. So it's one raw PHP request, which you have as communication from the client to the server.
Does it use a standard HTTP user agent strings or anything exotic that you could write an IDS rule for?
At the moment, no. A recent update was to introduce the RC4. Before there was also a kind of encryption algorithm, but it wasn't it wasn't made by the guy. No, it was made by the guy, but not it didn't use the RC4 encryption. This is introduced this year, actually introduced. Yeah, here. Maybe better with microphone. It's not.
What do you think would be the best way to fight this? Is this does the antivirus companies have to do more of their work for the detection that the bots will be installed, or does law enforcement together with ISPs have to be more strong towards the ISPs to get the command and control servers down, or should we infiltrate and find this Russian guy and kill him or something?
Yeah, this is really the essence question of everything. How to fight this? I mean, you basically to find these command and control servers, everything. This is no problem. But there's still the myth, or there's no law. You need some globally acting institution which looks at it globally. No, and until now, like I said before, if you call to some ISP in Russia, he's not that motivated to take off a paying customer of it. So, in fact, I think people need globally to work together to fight this. There's no other way. There needs to be some institution which has a global view and which has the possibility to act globally. This is the fault, I think, until now. You have maybe some guys which are doing things or here, but there's no global infrastructure to fight this. And I think this is the solution to fight all this, to see it globally and also to change laws depending on this.
But in the internet community, usually these guys, they don't care much about law. So why doesn't there's a group of anti-hackers or anti-cybercrime guys who use their own the same tools against these, for instance, the command and control servers, so to DDoS them or hack them back and whatever. So forget the law, just fight them. Why doesn't that work? Yeah,
as I said, one thing is the law. No, one thing is you can tell one ISP, here's the law, and you have to take this client offline, or we fight with the law against it. No, this is the one side, and the other side, if the law doesn't work, basically you are depending on the ISP. No, and there's the big problem.
Or hack it back.
Or hack it back.
Yeah.
Or hack it back. This is actually what also some people do. That they see you cannot fight it. And for example, you see on active installations, you see that people delete all the files and make basically the command and control structure. They break it. It's not working anymore. So actually, there are people fighting, like you say. You know, they begin to look for the servers and they destroy the installation of the cyber criminals. This we also see sometimes. But I think this is not the solution to the problem. The solution to the problem is not that you are depending on some hackers which try to hack another ones and break the systems. The solution is to take a global view of it and to be able to do things globally. No? I think this is the essence of it. Okay, any other questions? If not, I thank you for your attention, and I wish you a nice time. Thank you.